দেখুন Hello everyone, welcome to the day 2 of the Android Bootcamp, where we shall be building the part 1 of the Sabzi Mandi app. In this session, we shall be first going through all the basics of the Kotlin language, and then we shall be also diving deeper into building the actual app. Today, we shall be covering the UI portion of the app, and then the rest of the things would be covered in part 2, that is on 25th of November. So I will wait for 2 more minutes, and then Shrishti, you can start with the basics of the Kotlin language. And mind you, everything that we do here is for beginners, and there is no prerequisites in order to attend this session. We shall be starting right from the basics to the advanced. And if you have any doubts, you can freely write in the comments section. We have our moderators who shall be answering all your doubts. Also, you can directly ask the speakers themselves if you have any doubts. And yeah, so this is day 2 of the Android Bootcamp, building Sabzi Mandi app part 1. So Shrishti, you can start, I guess. Yeah, I think you can start.
Thank you, Girish. Hello, everyone. My name is Srishti Kumari. I'm a third year CSC student, and I will be taking this session Introduction to Kotlin. So, Kotlin is basically a programming language which is used everywhere Java is used. It can be used to develop Android apps, server side apps, and much more. So, I hope after this session you will be familiar with the basic syntaxes in Kotlin so that you can understand our upcoming sessions in which we will be building the Sabzi Mandi app. So let me switch to the Kotlin online compiler. So uh, Girish, can you see my screen?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Okay. So I'm starting with the variables in Kotlin. In Kotlin, so variables are basically a memory space which is used to store some data. The data can be of integer or string or boolean. So I'm declaring two variables here of data type string, and I'm assigning a value ram to it, and the second variable is second name of data type string, and the value assigned to it is Kumar. So you can see the syntax to declare variable here. First we write the keyword. You can either write var or val, and then we write the name of the variable, and after colon we write the data type of the variable. And since I have initialized the first name here, I mean the variable here, so I can omit this data type declaration here because Kotlin compiler can find out the value, the data type of variable by the value assigned to it. So if I do not write this thing, then also it is fine. So this is the syntax to declare variables in Kotlin. Now let's understand what is the difference between the var keyword and val keyword. So basically we use var keyword for those variables which can be reassigned later. So if I want to reassign the first name uh, with Shyam, then I won't get any error. If I run the code, then you can see I'm not getting any error. But if I reassign the value, the second variable with, let's say, some value, let's say I've written das here. So if I write this, then you will see the error val cannot be reassigned. So val is basically we use val for those variables which is only a read only variable, we cannot reassign the variable which is declared as val. So this is the difference between var and val. And also one more thing, every variable in Kotlin is a non-null type by default. So if I try to assign null to any variable, for example, if I write first name is equal to null, and if I run it, then you can see the error here, null cannot be a value of a non-null type string. It is because every variable is a non-null type, but sometimes we need to assign null to variables. So in this case, what we do is we write a question mark after the variable declaration. So now if I run the code, sorry, I should write the data type here because I am declaring it a nullable. It cannot be a value of, okay, yeah, so I should write the question mark here. So see, if I write the question mark here, so I didn't get any error, and I can because I made this a nullable data type. So this is about the variables in Kotlin. And also we like any other programming language, in Kotlin also we have global variable and local variable. So what is local variable? Local variable is basically a variable which scope is only inside that function inside which it is declared. So if I try to access these variables first name and second name outside this main function, then I will get error because the scope is only inside the main function. But if I declare any variable, let's say I'm declaring a variable, global variable of data type int, and I've initialized it with 5. So if I try to access it, if I try to print it here inside the main function, then I won't get any error. So you can see here 5 got printed in the output section. So this is all about variables in Kotlin. Now let's move to control statement in Kotlin. So in Kotlin we have two types of control statements: if else control statement and when control statement. So if else control statement is basically a conditional statement which we use to run a specific part of code if a condition is true. So I'm writing the syntax for if else statement. Inside, if we write the condition here. So let's say if I want to check that if first name is null or not, and if it is null, then I want to assign the value ram to it. So I'm writing the condition here. If first name is equal to null, and I want to, if it is null, then I want to assign ram to it. So, and in the else part, if it is not null, then let's say I am assigning Sam to it, and here I am printing the value of first name. If I run the code, then you can see Ram got printed here. So, uh, so in our code here we assign null to first name before. So in the during the execution, the control goes to if statement and it checks for this condition. If this condition is true, since first name is null, then this condition is true, then the control goes to this block which is after if, and so this part of what got executed, and first name is equal to Ram now. But if I comment out this line and then I run the code, then you can see Shyam got printed here, because in this case if part didn't get executed because this condition is not true, so else part got executed, and now the value of first name is Shyam. So this is about if statement in Kotlin. We also have when control statement in Kotlin. So basically we use when statement when there are so many conditions, um, and it is sometimes it is not possible to write if else statements because it increases the code size. So in this case we can use when statement here. So let's say if I want to check if a particular alphabet is vowel or not, so in I'm using the when control statement for that purpose. So I am declaring a variable alphabet here, which value of type character, and I'm using when statement to check if this alphabet is a vowel or not. So in when uh, we pass the argument here. So here the argument is alphabet, and inside this block we write different branches here. So let's say the first branch is a, and if this alphabet matches with a, then I will be printing vowel, and I will make four more branches because we have five vowels. O and then u. So, and in the else part I will write not vowel here. So uh, if I run the code, okay, so I should initialize alphabet. So let's say I'm initializing alphabet with V. Then you can see not vowel got printed in the output section. So what happened here is, um, here after this line the control goes to in this block, and it matches for the given argument, that is alphabet, with all the branches. First it try to match with a, and then with e, and then with I, and then with u, and then with o, and then with u. But it does not match with any of these five branches. So else part get executed and not vowel got printed here. Let's say if I change the value to E, and then if I run the code, then you can see vowel got printed. So in this case, the in this line the this branch matches with the given argument. So this branch got executed, and after the execution of this branch, the control goes to the end of when statement. And also in when statement we do not have to write any break statement like we write in switch statement in Java. It automatically get to the end of when statement. So this is all about if else statement and when statement in Java, in Kotlin, sorry. So we can also use if else statement and when statement to initialize or assign value to any variable. So let's say if I want to assign any value to in a new value to this variable first name, so I can use if statement here. So I'm checking if first name is equal to Shyam, then the value is Shyam, else else the value would be Ram. And now if I print the first name here, then you can see Ram got printed in the output section. So we can also use when statement to do the same thing. you just have to so if I pass first name as an argument inside when, and inside this block I check for the same thing that I checked here. So I write Shyam here, and if it matches with Shyam, this first name, if this first name variable matches with Shyam, then this when should return Ram. So I write Ram here, and else it should return. Okay, so I should write Ram here because in both case I'm returning the same thing. So I should write Shyam here, and I'm commenting this line. So you can see here, so we can also use if else statement and when statement to assign values to any variable. So this is about control statement in Kotlin. Now let's move to loops in Kotlin. So in Kotlin we have basically two type of loops, for loop and while loop. We use for loop for those cases in which we want to execute a specific part of code for a known number of times. Let's say if I want to print numbers from 1 to n, then I can use for loop here. So I am declaring a variable n here of data type int, and if I want to print all the numbers from 1 to n, then I can, then inside this for loop I write num and then in. So I, after in I will write a range. So for range we use, first we write the lower bound which is 1 here, and then we give two dots, and then we write the upper bound. So in, and inside the this block we can write what we want to do. So since I want to print all the numbers, then I will write this, and let's say if I assign 20 to n, then you will see numbers from 1 to 20 got printed here. So like this you can do any kind of operation inside this block. This is a simple operation of printing numbers from 1 to 20. So I can do the same thing using while loop. So but in while loop we have to increase the value of num after each iteration, and while loop will run our code uh, until the given condition is true. So in while loop we write if uh, num is equal to 1. So in while loop I am writing the condition here while num is less than equal to n, and if this condition is true, then I'm printing the same thing here. So and I have to increase the value of num in each iteration here. So uh, you can see this output from while loop. And so we also use for loop to traverse different type of collections like array and list in Kotlin. We shall be seeing this after some time. So now let's move to functions in Kotlin. So function is basically we use function to do a specific kind of task. So if you want to do something like if you want to add two numbers, then you can define a function, or if you want to do a specific uh, kind of operation, they can, so you can define function. So for defining a function, we use the keyword fun. So let's say if I create a function add numbers, and this function takes two parameter of type int, and the result return type of this function is also int. So inside this function I have to return the summation of these two numbers. So here I'm declaring result here. Result is equal to num1 plus num2, and now I will return this result from this function. So you can see the function declaration here. This is the function keyword, and then this is the name of the function, and then inside the parenthesis we write the parameters. Here both of the parameters are of type int. The first parameter is num1 and second is num2, and then we write a colon and then the return type of the function. And it is also possible that there is no return type, so in that case we don't have to write the return type or anything after the function name. So if I call this function from the main function, then let's say I'm calling 4 5. For this I should put a println. So if I run this, then you can see 9 here. 4 plus 5 equal to 9. 4 plus 5 equal to 9. This function returned 9, and 9 got printed in the output section. So if if you want to declare or create a function with no return type, then also we can do. Let's say I'm creating a function which checks for if a number is even or not. So in this case there is only one parameter and there is no return type, so I do not have to write anything here. And inside this I will check if this is even or not. So if this is even, then I will print even here. Otherwise I will print odd. So also one more thing, in Kotlin we use this dollar sign to print any variable with in a string, in a form of string. So in Java we concatenate different strings and variables, but in Kotlin we use this dollar sign before a variable to print it. So if I call this from the main function, then you will see 7 is odd. So this is all about the function. You can create any kind of function with any number of parameters. So now let's move to collections in Kotlin. So in Kotlin we have different kinds of collections, like we have array, we have list, mutable list, we have map and hash map. So I will be telling you about array first. Array is basically an mutable type of mutable type of collection. So in array all the elements should be of the same data type, and the syntax to declare an array is we, we use array of function to create an array. And here I have written this line, you can see here. So here the variable name is array, ARR, and before this I write the var here, and I'm using array of function to create this array, and I have initialized it with 1 comma 2 comma 3. So if you want to access any element of an array, then you can use index of it, or you can also use get function. So we have different type of attributes and function that we can use for array. So we can use array dot size to print size of array, or if I want to print a specific at element at a specific index, let's say if I want to print the element at one index, so I can print that value. So you can see the size of array is 3 here, and the value at index 1 is 2. You can also use dot get function to get value at any index. You can also use array dot set method to set different value. If you want to change any value at any index, so you can use set. So if I use array dot set, then it will change the value of array at index 1 to 4. If I and let me run the code, so you can see here the now the value of array of 1 is 4. So we also have different kind of operations, like we have okay, so we also have different type of operations, like we have add operations in array, and and all. So now let's move to list in Kotlin. So list is basically a collection of element, and in list we can store different data type, different type of elements. For example, we can store string and integer or boolean elements at this in the same list. So if I create a list here, so we use list of function to create a list, and if I and I'm initializing it with these values. So so I have initialized with 3 integers, 2 string value, and a boolean value. So the list is a generic type of collection. So if and so in list we can store any type of variable, any type of value. And if in list also we have different type of methods, like get method. We have get method to get element at any index. We can also use. So if I try to print the value at index 4, let's say, so I can use get function, and you will see at index 4 we have Android in this list. So Android got printed in the output section. We also have size function in list, and the size function will return the size of the list. So you can see the size of list is 6. Let Okay, so remember, this list is a read only list. So if you try to change any value of this list, you cannot change that, because this is only a read only list. So we also have a mutable list in Kotlin. So in to create a mutable list, we use mutable list function, and let's say I am initializing it with the same value. So For mutable list also we have the same functions, like we have get function, we have size function, but in mutable list we can set, we can change any value of it. So if I try to change the value at index 2, then then I won't get any error here. Okay, so I think I've written wrong name. Okay, so I forgot to write off. So you can see I didn't get any error, but if I try to do the same thing with this list that I created before using list of function, then I will get error because okay, so yeah, so you can see no state method providing array access because this is only a read only list, and so we cannot do this, we cannot change any value of it. So this is all about list in Kotlin. We also have different kind of collection, like we have map and hash map that you can learn from the official documentation of Kotlin. Now let's move. Now let's try to understand how to traverse this list. So we use for loop to traverse these collections. So if I try to traverse this mutable list, then I write for element in mutable list and I print this element. If I run the code, then you can see all the 6 value got printed here. And you can also use mutable list dot indices if you want to traverse the this list from with the help of index, then you can use mutable list dot indices. So if I print this value, okay, yeah, so all the value got printed here. So like this we can traverse all type of collections. I can also traverse list and array by for using for loop. We can also use while loop here, but let's write let's try to traverse using while loop. So here I am declaring a variable index with 0, and I'm checking if index is less than list dot size. Then I'm printing the value of value of list at that index, and because inside the while loop I have to increase the value of index after each iteration, so I'm increasing it here. And so if I try to run this code, then you can see all the values of list got printed here. So this is all from my side today. Thank you, Girish. Um, I am okay. So after this, Rudranil will taking
Okay,
this session. Thank you.
thank you for your wonderful session, Shrishti. Now I request Rudranil to take over.
Good evening, everyone. Let me share my screen first, and today we'll begin with the UI basics of Android Studio. Can you see my screen?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah. So today we'll learn like how many types of different types of layouts are there. So one is the linear layout, the second is the relative layout, third is the constraint layout, fourth is the frame layout, fifth is the table layout. Okay, so we'll learn about this in detail, and we'll also do an hands-on also. So in the linear layout, what there are two types of orientations basically. One is the horizontal, where like you'll have the texts or the widgets in this order, or you can do the vertical one. Okay, so there's a short description on this linear layout. You can go through this, and we'll make an application form using this linear layout in the later part of this session. Similarly, relative layout. Uh, in the relative layout, for example, we are creating this type of layout. So once we have made this button, the second button will be placed with respect with this button, or with respect to the parent or the entire area of the device. Okay, so in the relative layout, it is basically with relative to another object. Okay, then comes frame layout. So in this, basically you can insert images, or basically a frame type of thing. And there is a table layout in which you can create a table of multiple rows and columns. Okay, so now we can. I'll just show you the. I'll just stop my sharing and share another screen. Hope you can see the screen too. So basically, we are trying to create this form. Let me zoom it for you. Yeah, we are trying to create this type of form where we have this two section, this subject section and this message section with a send button. Okay, the left hand side is the actual UI and the right hand side is the blueprint. Okay, so first I'll show you how to create an XML file. So in this app section, you will go to res, and in the res you will go to layouts. Okay, and right click on layouts. Over here there is new, and over here there is layout resource files. Okay, over here I have already created a file called linear, so I'll call it linear one. Okay, and I click and OK. So this is basically a default XML file. I'll just split the code, and there are multiple ways to add text in this. So there are text views for that. We can add buttons for that. There are buttons, so we can actually just drag and drop buttons over here. Okay, but we'll not do that. We'll do that through the code part, which is on the left hand side. Okay, so I'll just minimize this palette part and extend this code part. Okay, now I'll remove this, and over here I'll just start writing linear. Okay, and you can see this linear layout. I just a second. Yeah, the first one. Okay, so over here, after creating the layout width and layout height, we'll just close this. And over here, what we'll do is, what we'll do in the layout height, we'll do match parent. Match parent means this entire area over here, which is the acting as the parent area for the mobile screen. So that will be treated as the parent for this. Okay, so in the layout height, I'll write match parent. Okay, or else we can actually do one thing. Let me share another screen for you. Just a second, guys.
Till then, Shishti, I think you can answer some of the questions in the chat.
Yeah, Girish, sure.
Yeah, so we have a question from Akash. It is there on your screen, right? Shishti, are you there?
Yes, yes. Yes, I'm here.
Can you read the question?
Yes. 1 second, 1 second. Just give me 1 second.
Till Shishti comes back, I think Rudra, you can continue with your
Yeah,
part.
my screen is visible, right?
Yeah, it is visible.
Yeah. So what I was doing is, yeah. So in this part, I'll just write this linear layout section like this. Okay. Over here, what I've written is, when you start writing linear layout, this section will come, and when you create a new folder, this XMLNS Android, this section comes. So you have to put this just after the linear layout part. Okay, and as I said, this linear layout width will be match parent and height will be match parent, which means that the entire you can see over here in the blueprint part, it's when I'm clicking on linear layout, this white box, this is the actual area what we are going to use for the linear layout. Okay, so padding left and padding right is 20 dp. So basically, padding means that if you create a button or anything inside this, uh, it everything will be shifted towards like 20 dp from the left and 20 dp from the right. Okay, so dp means display pixels over here. So for now, if you want to add, uh, just let me close this. Yeah. So if you open this linear layout, you have to close this linear layout too. So keep that in mind. And inside this linear layout, what we'll do is we'll add edit text. Okay. So uh, I'm just like beginning to write edit text, and you can see this pop up which shows edit text. So I click it, and in this I'll do match parent in the width part. Okay, and in the height part I'll do wrap content. So what happens, you can see in the blueprint part, right? So when I did match parent, you can see the distance over here. This is actually 20 dp and this is also 20 dp on the right. Okay, and when I did match parent over here, it basically uh, spanned the entire, like spanned the text edit text button throughout the entire view. Okay.
Rudra, can you increase the font size?
uh,
Just click on it, control, and then scroll.
it's actually not happening.
Click on control and use your mouse to scroll.
It's not happening actually.
Okay, then leave it.
uh, is it not visible right now? I can like zoom in this blueprint part, but on the IDE part I can't. Okay, so after this, like we open this edit text part, so we'll also have to close this part. Okay, and then what we'll do is inside this we'll have to add an ID. uh, why do we add an ID to each and every edit text? Because when we want to access this edit text button from the Kotlin, where we are writing the program to make it functionable, so we'll use the ID to fetch the details. Okay. So for example, for that we are using Android ID, and after using Android ID, you what you will have to do, you will have to just put an at the rate, and there's a pop-up showing plus ID. So I click on that, and I'll write edit text one, add text one. Okay. Then what I'll do is I'll just put an hint. Okay. Because it is an edit text, so you can actually type anything over there. So the person should always have a hint to what we are going to write. So in this, you can see this has the first part of our UI has come into form, right? Then comes the another edit text, which is the text subject. So let me again create an edit text. Uh, Over here, what I have to do is again match parent and wrap content, because I want to span it across every across the breadth, and then over here wrap content. Okay. And then I'll close it. See, while closing it, you can either put the angle, like closing angle bracket, or you can also do the backslash button, so it will close automatically. And over here again we have to add an ID, right? So while creating an ID, if you like write an ID over here, only ID, there will be a pop-up, and after that there will again be a pop-up at the rate plus ID, and then we can give it, for example, we are going to write subject, right? So I'll give the ID subject to it, and then again hint is necessary for the user to understand what's going to be written here. So as the hint, we are going to write subject. Okay. Then after that, what we are going to create is another edit text button. So let me just go back to the actual one. So we have to create this message part, right? So this message part will be almost the rest of the thing except the send part, right? So what we'll do is we'll create another edit text button over here. Okay. And over here, uh, I'll do match parent, and in the height, what I'll do, I'll just put 0 dB here. Okay. And there is a weight also, so you can put up a layout weight and layout gravity. So layout gravity basically says that it will be on the top or it will be on the bottom. So let me put out weight, layout weight. So layout weight, I'll just put one, and see when I just put one over here, I'll just remove one. You can see now the height is 0 dp, right? So if I put weight on this the lower position of this edit text, so for example we are putting some weight over here, so it's actually acting as a balanced type of thing. So we are putting the weight and it's stretching through the entire area, right? So after this, what we'll do, we'll put a gravity to it because we want it to be in front so that you can type on anything to it. So what you can do is you can write top and you can close it this way or this way. I prefer doing the backslash one, and then there will be a hint, and in the hint, what I'll write is message. Okay, right. So after this, what we have to do is we have to create the send button over here. This send button we have to create it. So what we are going to do is like we are going to create a button. So just type a button like this, like open the brackets and start writing button. And over here, what we'll do is we'll just put the width as 100 dp, 100 dp, or you can put as 150 dp also. So over here, can you see this lines of a thing you created? So this is actually 100 dp. Okay, if I change it to 150 dp, you can see that line extended to some more, like some further extent. So let me change it back to 100. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll put wrap content over here. Okay, and now what I'll do, I did the wrap content because when I write send over there, it should like just fix, like the height shouldn't be very much. And then what I'll do is I want to place this button towards the right. So what I'll do is I'll put gravity on it, and see there are many options: bottom, center, right, left. So let me put it on the right. I close it, and then what I'll do, I'll add the text as send. Okay, just a second. Yeah. Okay. So it has been sent to the right. If you over here, if you erase this and write center, it will be aligned to the center. Okay. So you have to play with this ID and get to you will get to know everything. So I have created this linear layout for you, and I'll be explaining the other layouts. So this is a relative layout. So in this relative layout, you have to at the first you have to start writing with the relative layout part, and you have to copy this one from the default. Like when you create the default, you will have a constraint layout over there, and you have to copy this line from there and paste it over here. Over here I'm doing the match parent because I want this data to be printed on the entire screen of my phone or my device. And padding, I'm putting left and right 10 dp. Okay, we are seeing this gap. This is 10 dp. Earlier it was 20 dp, so it was just a double of this. Okay, and this button one, so you're seeing the way I'm like created the id of this button so that I don't forget which id is for what. So the name of the button is button one, so I made the id button one over here. Wrap content means anything like in while using ms word, you use wrap content. So this is the same thing. Next, what we are doing is layout aligned to the left, like parent left is equal to true. That means its parent is the entire screen, right? And left to the parent, it is true. So it is aligned left, like with respect to its parent. Okay, and this is the text displayed on the button. Now, when we are going to create the second button, so it's this part is the same. After this, what we are doing is we are doing align parent right. So while we are creating this button, the parent for this one will be the previous button. Okay, because this is a relative layout, so it will be related to this, the button we have created just before that. Okay, and over here there is center vertical. Center vertical means it will be uh, aligned kind of central to it and in the vertical alignment. So yeah, this is representing to this one, button 2. Okay, align parent right, which is true. So this is the entire thing is the parent, and this is towards the right. This button is for button 3. So this is parent align left, which is true. So this is leftward, and central vertical means central from the vertical aspect. So this is also true, like it's in the central part. And this button is for button 4, which is present at the bottom. So over here align parent bottom, which is true. So basically you will have to just try these on your ID. Okay, so first of all, you have to think where you want to add the button. For example, want to add the button at the bottom. So you'll just write bottom over here, and the ID will keep popping up hints for you. And keep trying different things on this ID. Okay, so next is the button number 5. So over here, what I did over here is central horizontal, which is true because this is central from the in the horizontal view, right? And align bottom, like this is button 2, right? Button 2 is which one? Button 2, this one, right? So it is aligned bottom to button ID of button 2. Now this is button 6. So this button is above button 4, right? So layout above, we are using layout above. So layout, you will have to first think that where you want to place the button. For example, over here I wanted to place the button above button 4, so I did layout above button 4. Over here I could do layout above button 5. See, now the button 6 shifted to above button 5, right? So you can change the position of the button. So I can place button 2 over here also. But since it's centrally aligned, like aligned center horizontal, so it will align it, and it will not go above 2, although it's in the same line. Okay, so I'll change it back to 4. Okay. And last but not the least, button 7. Over here, there is the alignment, parent alignment true of button 1. Like it is right of button 1, right? So right of, and the ID, I'm giving the ID over here, right of button 1, and layout at the end of button 1, right? If I don't write this, it will overlap. Some of the portion of this button will overlap with this button. Okay. So this is all about relative XML, like a relative layout. Now we are going to frame layout. So on the frame layout, I'll show you how to put a picture in it. Okay. So for that, I'm using image view. Okay. For image view, what you will do is, for example, you have an image on your desktop. So you will go to Drawable. Like inside this app, there is res, like inside the res folder, there is Drawable. You will go over here Right click on this, and you'll paste the, like, you have to copy the image from there and paste it over here. Okay, for example, I've like copied this folder AAA. So let me open it to you. So this is the picture, and I want to add it to my device. Okay, so what I did over here is I've given it an ID, image view one. Okay, and over here what I did over here was wrap content, because I wanted the entire image to be fitted inside that this screen. Okay, this is kind of a frame. Okay, and then what I'll do is I have done this text view over here. You can see this Grand Palace Bangkok. So this is just a text view. You can change this text view for with the help of Kotlin. For that, in the Kotlin part, you will have to connect it with the help of this ID. Okay, over there you have to do find value by ID, and then you have to just put this ID over there. After that, what I did over here was match parent for the entire, like it will span through the entire screen, wrap content, because I want only this text to be shown, and nothing, no other places will be this dark gray. And what I did over here else is margin top. So you can see I've put a margin over here, margin over here. I can also do like margin right also. I'm writing margin right. So if I do over here 20 dp, see, it has shifted 20 dp to the left, right? Like the button has decreased in size. So I'll remove this line. Okay. Now for the background, okay. In the image view, I forgot to tell you like how to add the file to it. So over here, what you have to do is you have to add the source. Okay, the source is basically you have to add it through src, and after doing that, what you will do is, I'll just delete this part and show it to you. You will add the rate. For example, you did in the id part, right? So you will put at the rate, and you will write drawable. And if you want to add an image, for example, this launcher background, there is the image of an Android. Okay, so if I click over here, see, you will see a small image of the Android which is hidden behind this, right? So it is not big enough, so it will not be shown over here. So I'll like paste the file name over here, and I'll close the inverted commas. And scale type is center crop. So this is basically cropping the image to the center, like the entire image is present in the center part. Next is, yeah, this background. This background means this text view has the dark background, right? So this is the dark background. For example, if I change the numbers, for example 9, see, it has changed the color, right? Earlier it was 4, dark gray. So you will get the color codes on the net, like you have to search for a desired color, and you have to copy the color code from there and paste it here. Or yeah, or you can change the color from here also. Over here, can you see there's a color picker over here, and you'll click it. And for example, I want yellow over here. See, this is yellow. Okay. Now there is the last part, which is the date part over here, and it is like translucent type of thing, right? So what I did over here was in the background part, I did like the null thing. So this is actually creating a fake background over here, and the text color is white. Okay, and the gravity is right and bottom. So if you want to add the right and bottom, so you have to add the this operator over here. Let me remove this and show it to you. Right. The, the operator which you use for or in C language or uh, other languages also. Operator, and then you have to write button. Okay, so it will be shifted to so this in the table layout. Again, from the table layout, you have started writing this.
Rudra, are you there? I think his internet got disconnected. So we shall just wait for him to come back. Or what we can do till then is until Rudro come backs, we can proceed with the quiz. So I'll just share the link of the quiz in the chat. You can go to this particular link and you can go to this particular link and register for the quiz. And the winner of the quiz will be getting uh, an exciting prize from our sponsors hyphen.com. So I will start the quiz. Just give me a moment. I will share my screen. Hmm, I will just share my screen. Let me share it. So I think my screen is visible to everyone. Just send a affirmative in the chat so that I can proceed. Send send something yes, no, something like that so that I know that you can see the okay, so you can see my screen. And please go to this particular link that has been sent in the chat so that you can take part in this quiz. I see that there are 5 people in the quiz. So with 27 people watching, I think we can at least get 20 people in the quiz. Guys, come on. You cannot make it so easy for others. So I will just wait for 30 seconds more and then I will start the quiz. So just wait for few more seconds. 10 people have joined. Guys, come on, start joining. So this is the quiz for the day 2 of building Sabzi Mandi app, part 1. And the winner of this quiz is going to get a prize from our sponsor, hyphen.com. So I think 17. Okay, so I will start the quiz. So the quiz is started. The first question is Kotlin is developed by. First option is Google, JetBrains. Is it Microsoft or is it Facebook? S- Okay, so JetBrains was the correct answer. Moving on. You can just go to this link. You can just go to this link in order to answer this quiz. The the quiz link is in the chat. This is the second question. Two types of constructors in Kotlin are parameterized and constant constructor, primary and parameterized constructor, primary and secondary constructor, or none of the above. So what are the two types of constructors in Kotlin? Remember, there will be only one winner who shall be given an exciting prize from our sponsor, that is hyphen.com. And the people answering the fastest and the most accurately will be at the top of the leaderboard. So guys, answer this so that we can proceed. I'll just wait for 5 more seconds and then I will continue. Yeah, so this is the third question. Which of the following is not a basic data type in Kotlin? Is it a number, string, array, or list? Which of the following is not a basic data type in Kotlin? Is it a number, string, array, or list? Number, string, array, or list. Which of the following is not a basic data type in Kotlin? I will wait for 10 more seconds and then I will go to the next question. The quiz link is in the chat. Okay, so let me go to the next question. The fourth question is, in which file do you define the permissions required for app? Is it build.gradle file? Is it app/build.gradle? Or is it res/permissions.xml, or is it Android manifests? Okay, coming to the last question of this quiz. Answer it very quickly, you won't be given much time. What is the recommended syntax to change the text font size to 18? You have just 10 seconds, answer it quickly. Is it 18SP, 18DP, 18 point, or 18SD? Okay, so the time is up and the correct answer was SP. Let us now look at the leaderboards to see who won the round. Okay, so Bell was the fastest one, and Bell is the winner of this particular quiz on day 2 of this Android Bootcamp. So, Bell, please take the screenshot from your mobile phone and send it to our email ID. Sneha, if you're there, can you please send our Gmail ID in the chat box? You must take a screenshot of this leaderboard, Bell, and you can send it to our email ID in order to claim your exciting prize. So this quiz ends here, and Rudro is back, so we shall continue with the uh,
Yeah,
UI
am I audible?
development portion. Yeah, you're audible.
So actually, my there was an internet issue. So till where have I covered?
So you can just continue from wherever you left.
Okay, so I was explaining this frame part, right? So over here, yeah, over here. you have to just type in the frame part over the frame layout over here, and it will give you the pop-up. And over here, you have to just copy it from the default. When you just create a default XML, this line will be written over the XMLNS Android, this schema Android. So you have to copy this over here. And by now you actually know what is the match parent used for, because I want this frame layout for this entire screen of my device. So I'm doing match parent again, and the orientation I want it to be vertical. If I write it horizontal, then it will be kind of a landscape view type of thing. Okay, then to add the image over here, what I did is I added the image over here. So after that, I just
I think Rudro's internet is causing some issues. Anyways, so I'm seeing some questions in the chat. I will address them first, and I think there are some questions regarding the quiz. So Akash says wasn't able to join at time, missed the first question. So Akash, don't worry, we have 3 more days, and 3 more days means 3 more quizzes. So you can participate in those quizzes. Many students are interested in app development. I hope students present here will be able to make up their own small app. Definitely, sir. This bootcamp is for encouraging the students and the community at large so that they come up with their own ideas and work on them. Share the code, please. Yes, sir. So we shall be sharing the code with you, all of you. Dina Wilson, I am getting different questions. No, Dina. Every question for all the participants is the same. There might be a 10-second delay in what we show to you. That is why there's a 10-second delay in what is streamed on YouTube. That is why there is some discrepancy. You might think of a certain discrepancy, but otherwise, all the questions are same for everyone. Yeah. So, Rudru, your internet is all good?
yeah, actually, today I'm facing some internet issues.
No issues, no issues. Continue.
Yeah, so basically over here, I've said how to add this drawable. So you have to go to the app part. After that, you have to go to the drawable, and after that, you have to like just right click on this and paste the copied picture over there. Okay, and then inside this, you have to use at the rate drawable, right? So in the ID part, you use at the rate plus ID. Over here, you have to use at the rate drawable, and you have to like write the file name over here, and it will add the picture as shown over here. So after this, I'm doing it this text view to like create this Grand Palace Bangkok. And over here, what I did over here was like match parent to span it across the width, wrap content because I wanted the border like this text view only for the height of the texts. So I did wrap content. So wrap content works in the similar way you work in MS Word or PowerPoint. So after that, I did was margin top 40 dp. So you can see the space above this text view, right? So that is because of what I put it 40 dp. If I have done 20 dp, so you can see this widget has moved a bit up, right? So I'll change it back to 40 again. And this is the background color code. You can change the background color code through this code sniper tool over here, and you can change it. For example, I'm changing right now, right? So you can change it to any color you want. Okay. So after this, what I did over here was I just yeah, this last text view part, which is a bit important because we are placing it at the right bottom. So I have put out this layout gravity part. And over here I've used this operator which we usually use for or, like the or operator in C or the or operator in Java, right? So you have to use the right. Let me retype it for you if it's not visible perfectly. I wrote right, so it has shifted to the right and bottom, right? So this is right and bottom. Okay, the background I've put a like a type of null background. See, these zeros represent the transparent part, and the double A represent the type of translucent part you see. So this is for the translucent part. Okay, and then the text color is white, and the text size is 18 sp. Okay, now the next layer is table layout. So inside the table layout, you have to type the table layout and just copy this line from the default code, match parent, because you want your app to be like to display throughout the entire screen, right? So after that, you can see the top of the table. Let me zoom out a bit. Yeah, you can see the top of the table. It has a 50 dp space. So this is margin top. Okay, so if I can also do it 20, so this has decreased. I can also do it 100. This will increase. I'll just change it to back to 50, and I'll show you what will happen if we do padding. Padding top. Okay, so I'll do it 50 dp. Okay, so now this table layout has 50 dp inside this inside the table layout top. Okay, and there is a margin above the table layout. So this is the margin and this is the padding. Okay. Now I'll remove the padding again because it's not input. Yeah. To add the rows of the table, what I did over here was table row. Okay. And inside this, we are adding the background. This is the background color. You can change the background color from here, or you can search for your desired color on the net through the entire uh, hexadecimal code, and you can paste it here. And then like the padding 5 dp, like towards the left, right, up, down, it will be of 5 dp padding equally. And then we are doing this text view. By now you're familiar with text view, right? So this is the text view for the three texts. You can change the color of the text view through this. For example, I have done text color over here at the red color white. You can change it to black. See, this has changed to black user id, right? If you want to add more colors, you can go to colors and just add your color with the hexadecimal code, and yeah, and close the color this brackets. So this is basically, you can put any name, and you have to put the color code, like the hexadecimal code, with respect to that color itself, and this will be present in the values part inside the rest folder. Okay, so back to the table topic. Yeah, so this is for one row. Similarly, for other rows, it's the same, and this is a different background. This is a lighter background to bring the color contrasts. So this is all about table layout. So there are three rows over here, three times table layout, and I'm closing the table layout over here. So after this, there is one more thing I wanted to show you. It was the scroll view. Okay, so for the scroll view, to make your app scrollable, what you'll do is you'll just write open this and open the angle bracket and write scroll, scroll, scroll view, and you have to close the scroll view also. But I'll not close the scroll view here, but I'll close the scroll view at the end. Okay, and what I'll do is uh, wait a second. Okay, the out outside layout is frame layout, right? So I have to put the scroll view inside this. So scroll view, close the scroll view, and copy it. Sorry, cut it and place it here. So now match parent, and this is also match parent because I want to scroll the entire thing. And if I want to test this, so I'll go to layout validation. It will take some time to load this, but ultimately this will be scrollable. It's actually not loading right now. Yeah, but after this code, this should be scrollable. Okay, so this is it in my part today. So thank you guys for attending the session.
Yeah, I think it was a wonderful session. Well done, Rudruni. And guys, if you have any doubts, you can ask it in the comment section. Also, the feedback form for the session has been shared. Do fill the feedback form in order to be eligible for certificates. Also, the people from IEM, this certificate will be valid for MAR points. So, do fill the feedback form, it is very important because it will be used to share the certificates with all of you. And if you have any doubts, you can just ask it in the comments section. We are here for a few minutes, and yeah, we are here for some time. And till then, if you have any doubts, you can ask it. Otherwise, I would make some a few announcements. So on 25th of November, that is the day after tomorrow, we will have part two of the part two of the Building Sabzi Mandi app, where we shall be implementing the recycler view and the search functionality of the app. So also tomorrow we will have a brainstorming session where we shall encourage all of you to come to the Zoom session, and you can share your ideas with each other. You can discuss on how to work on them, and you can collaborate with others, so that so the ultimate aim is that the project is the project is realized and the project is out in production, where the general public can use it. And you can use use this brainstorming session in order to not only share your ideas, but also listen to what other people are doing, and you can contribute to their projects as well. So we will have Arnab with us in a short time, uh, who shall be telling you guys about the diversion event that we are recently planning, and the the projects that you will be coming up in this brainstorming session can also be a part of the projects that will be taking up for diversion. So I will just contact Arnav right now and see if he can come up in this live session. uh, Akash Sinha says, we didn't make any UI for the Subsumandi app. These layouts are just for explaining the different layouts, right? Yes, Akash, this was just the basics. So as I said that this entire bootcamp is is for anyone, any beginner who is joining. So we wanted to cover first the basics portion, and then we shall be going to the advanced portion in the next session. So today we just covered a very like basic part, and uh, it is not very heavy. So The next session will be a bit heavier based on the Android concepts that we will be using. In the next session, we shall be covering the UI, a bit more complex UIs like recycler views, and how to actually, uh, you know, get the items in the recycler view on screen. So we have Arnav with us. So he shall be telling you guys about what the brainstorming session will be and what is diversion all about. So Arnav, carry on.
Yeah. Sure, sure, sure. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Cool. So let me. So I hope you guys know about the brainstorming session that is going to be held tomorrow, right? So in the brainstorming session, what will happen is you will be coming up with your own ideas, right? You got a glimpse of like how exactly Android works, like an Android app you have seen about Kotlin, you know. So you got what will happen in tomorrow's session is you guys will be coming up with an idea, right? And what will happen, and we will be actually selecting the best ones, okay, and it will be connected in Zoom. The link will be provided to you guys in your it will be sent in the groups, in the Discord channel, and everywhere. Okay, so so all of you could just attend the session, right? You guys can come up with your own ideas, or you can even be there so that you can, when you will listen ideas from other people, so you can participate in that, you know. You will be joining in that group, you know, like let's say here Girish is a lead. Okay, so I am here in the meeting. He gave a nice idea and I really like this idea, so now I want to work with him. So you will get an open discussion. It will be completely an it will be a completely open discussion, completely in Zoom, right? Everyone will be talking about, like, let's say if I had an idea, then you gave one idea of adding a feature into that. You know, it will be completely an interactive session, right? So what is the main agenda of conducting these kind of brainstorming session is, like, after this we will be allocating projects, right? The leads will be the ones who will be giving the ideas, right? Of course they should be the lead, right? And after that they will be like and what is the main agenda is, there is another mega event coming up, that's name is diversion. I hope most of you know about GSOC. I hope, right? Like how, like what GSOC is. I mean, open source contribution. So all these projects, all these Android projects that you will be giving the ideas, it will be, you know, it will be showcased. It will be you will get a direct entry through diversion, and so in diversion is also going to be like an open source event. It will be conducted for the first time in our college. So yeah, so or you will get an exposure that how an open source project works, like from scratch, completely from scratch, like how, you know, what a large code base is, what is a small code base, etc. So you will get a holistic idea of how exactly open source works. And after that, also at the end of March and February and March, when you will be completing the project, right? We will be giving you timeline, deadlines, and that in that much time amount of time you have to finish the project, right? And you know, the best ones will receive swags from Microsoft student community and Girl Script. We have also, you will also receive swags from our side as well. There are a lot of cash prizes opportunity as well, right? So you will get a complete, you know, exposure. You will get to learn a lot, and you know, you will be able to add those projects in your CV, right? And what is the advantage with that? That as you know that there is a GSOC coming up on May, right? Like it will, the application for GSOC for students, right? It will be starting around May. So you will have one good project, one or two good scalable project in your resume, such that you so there are high chances that you can get qualified as well, right? So take today's time, you know, take the whole night, think about some nice awesome idea. And yeah, ideas should be basically it should be scalable, you know. It should be scalable. So we had, as some of you might know, that we had an web dev bootcamp. So from web dev bootcamp also we conducted this brainstorming session, and from there we got 7 projects, and currently it's under development phase. Everyone is working, like there we have assigned leads, and they have team members, and everyone is like, you know, attended that session, and they are working right nicely right now. In the same way we will do for Android as well, right? So if you don't have any idea about Android and all, you, so yeah, basically our main agenda of the boot camp is, right, is bootcamp is to give you first of all, of course, about Kotlin and how everything works, how an Android, native Android works, right? So you will from tutorials you will get knowledge only 20%, but the rest 80% you will get by doing projects, right? So that's what the opportunity we want to give it to you. Like that's why this bootcamp is unique than other bootcamps that's conducted, right? So this is the specialty of the bootcamp that we conduct in Codechef. Codechef IEM in GDSC and etc. So I hope we will see you in brainstorming session and also in diversion. And yeah, in diversion also we have got collabs from Girl Script Foundation. Some of you might know about Girl Script. It's a very big community, open source community. You will get mentors from there. They will actually guide you throughout the project. You will get judges. You will get industry level mentors. And after that, we will also having uh, mentor. We will be also bringing some YouTubers. We will be also bringing some gold Microsoft ambassador and also one of the greatest global leader named Sarah Williams. She might also come to our session as well. So it's a completely an open opportunity for you to network with people, right? So yeah. So anyone want to ask anything, you can write in the chat. I hope if you have any doubts, anyone, anything. No doubts?
I don't think Arnab, they have any doubts.
Okay, cool. So let's see you on the brainstorming session. Take your time today, right? And think about some scalable idea. Of course, right? The whole point is right is to learn and make a project which you can add it to your resume, right? That's what the thing is. So that's what our main vision is for this boot camp. So yep, see you on the next time. See you tomorrow. I hope. All right, Girish.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely, Arnab. Absolutely.
Hmm.
So, thank you for joining everyone. Thank you for
Yeah, yeah,
taking
yeah.
out
Thanks a
time
lot.
to join this session. And this is day 2 of Android Bootcamp. Signing off.
Yep.